The lid is well and truly off down at Carlton, and it's only just beginning. They're going to sack their coach every week. This is Two Loose Cannons. I'm Liam.
I'm Ross. Just hold off another week, Carlton, please.
Well, I heard that they're doing a rotation policy on the coaches.
Oh,
So you guys have them this week.
Yeah, we're going this week, Saturday night. Yeah.
Well, it's a good time to get them after a win. They should be, shouldn't be thirsty.
Look, and the thing that got me was they were improving, so steadily improving.
Yeah.
But we see this often. I looked at the stat, and I went to Bulldogs, so I actually looked at the stat, and I was shocked to find out that teams that sack their coaches only win, I think it was 46.9% of the time. So I went the Bulldogs stupidly.
Yeah. But I mean,
everybody else.
Yeah, everyone else would have, because there was no other logic other than they sacked their coach. And with that ordinary list of Carltons, even with Bulldogs injuries, Bulldogs should not have got done.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think it makes your task easier this week.
Well, we're going to find out, aren't we? And I don't know what the weather's. I mean, that thunderstorm never eventuated during your game, and everybody, the missus went to the game, and I sent her off with all this wet weather gear and roped her up and everything, scarves and beanies and everything, and she was hot as because the sun was out, it was shiny, it was blue skies.
She was hot as.
So what is she's hot as.
Nice little plug there.
Yeah. So I don't know what to take of it. You were a bit freaked out about the fact that you thought the rain would.
Yeah. Well,
you were hoping for rain, so you thought.
Yeah, because I thought that would round the fire in the midfield, and yet the midfield didn't even show up.
Didn't even fire a shot. No. Although from what I hear from guys, the missus said to me that they were a bit, here we go again in that first quarter, and then of course you overran them, and that second quarter was just.
There were signs in the first quarter. It looked, and look, it was spoken about before the match, so I'm not revealing anything special here, that Nixie had been training for several weeks about trying to get them to move quickly.
Yeah.
And it does take time to implement it in the game. The players have to actually really feel.
It's funny you say that, because that's what they were doing in the second half of every game that they played, except for the Brisbane game.
I know.
So how was it hard to implement it into the game if you're doing it in the second half?
I have no idea.
It makes no sense.
But they were sometimes handballing themselves into trouble, who can. And look, that's not a bad thing, because it forces the opposition into some panics at times, particularly, you know, it moves pieces when you haven't quite got their handball right. Someone comes up and tries to apply pressure on the person receiving, and all of a sudden it opens up overlap, doesn't it? So sometimes it's not a bad thing to completely shit the bed.
So,
and they did that several times throughout the game, but opened the game up for them, didn't they?
Yeah. Is that the end for Tex? Is that it? Is it over?
You know, I'm going to disagree on that one. I'm actually on board. I've been saying this for a while. I'm the one that gets potted on my personal account for putting my neck out there after Tex kicks 5 goals, saying that he's done. I don't know.
Is the argument now over? Because that's what you should be looking at now. That's what moving forward looks like now.
Yeah.
Now, I've said this for 2 years, and I understood your whole, we need experience, we've got a young forward line, all that. He slows you down. He can't chase anymore. He's not the mark he used to be. He's still got the good kick from 50, but if he hasn't got that one from 55, 60 anymore. Yeah. Which is not a big deal. Get him closer to goal then.
Yeah.
But he's a liability when that ball hits the ground, because they're starting to put faster, speedier players on him who are running off him, and they're using that.
I don't think that the Adelaide coaching staff is stupid. I think they're seeing exactly what we're saying for many months, years even.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there is still they will still put him in a.
Do you think there's?
I still think that I think that they will. I don't believe that there's a role. I don't think
there's a role either.
After that, you could go back. Because even this week, I still think that they'd be stupid to put Thilthorpe back in. Give another week. And then we've got the bye the week after. So
especially travelling to Tassie.
Yeah.
And who knows what you're going to get in Tassie.
Yeah, exactly.
So
so given the 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Because if his back is as bad as what it was, and I did see he was running laps. Yeah. Tomorrow's the day that I think we'll all know whether or not he's playing or not, because if he trains, I reckon he's coming straight back in.
Well, again, you're probably right. If you got the bye the following week, I think it's worthwhile giving him the rest. Or they must be thinking we can play him the Hawthorn game. He gets the week off because it's the bye, and then he comes back after that. So,
but seeing as that how the forward line worked so well, the speed and look, Thilthorpe is not a slouch. But if that back is impeding him, what good is he?
But the Hawthorn backs give you a different look than the North backs.
They do. But is Brass going to be?
No, he's not.
No. So that's a huge out for them, and they still looks like they haven't covered the loss of it. You know, everyone's having to roll up.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they're a team who don't, for some reason, for such a good side, they don't bat deep.
No.
And I understand that Mitchell's trying to build that depth. When they went on their premiership run, they had guys playing in the VFL who were at Box Hill. They were winning the Box Hill premierships and the AFL premierships. So that tells you that they're batting deep.
So what I would say is, even your game when they have a full list of,
well, you called.
They're still not the team that everybody thinks they are. Well, everyone across the border.
You called it that day. You texted me and said Hawthorn cannot win the premiership the way they're playing against you guys.
Yeah.
So you called it then, and that's what, 4 weeks ago now?
Yeah.
And they've been terrible since that game against us, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and that's there's some everyone's going to say it's the midfield, but I don't know. I know that they've missed key forwards. I think Gunston is a huge. Talk about Walker being a big part for Adelaide the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Gunston is absolutely crucial. They're a different side with him in there.
Yeah. Day out doesn't help.
But is the amount of injuries he gets, is he?
I don't know.
How much is that going to tape him?
If he could, he would almost be my tip for the Brownlow medal if he could stay on the field. If he could just stay right. Because he gives them so much, but the problem is that you might get a week out of him and then he's out again.
Yeah.
And you get 2 weeks out of him and he's out. So
yeah, and all these injuries he's had in his career.
Yeah.
At some stage it's going to take its toll.
It has taken its toll. You can see now. He's the injuries he's having now are taking longer for him to recover, you know.
But his playing ability, his ceiling, does that now come down?
Well, it has to, because you can't rely on the body.
No. And I listened to Wayne Miller and about what he's gone through and where he's at now. Now he has recovered, so maybe he's the blueprint for
Dave.
Maybe they get on the phone together, or they'll see each other in State of Origin if Dave can get himself fit for that.
Yeah.
Because he talks about the confidence in his body. He doesn't enter a game thinking or a contest, I'm going to get injured here.
Yeah.
No,
I'm with you.
Exerting himself, he's not having to think about that in the back of his mind. So, he's obviously, and he will come back and he'll feel it for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Can he get that mindset right?
You're right. All right. Well, as far as your game goes, look, it was a good game. You did what you had to do. You were very impressive. I still think it's only North, though. So
it is, but you have to remember, we only played Richmond last week, and what happened there?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and our midfield doesn't have the right to give the bollocking that we gave to North.
True. And we both thought that North would show up. We both thought North were a chance.
Well, the way it was talked about, everyone pretty much thought, okay.
Well, are they overhyped? I mean, we did this 2 weeks ago, was it? Horse shit.
We talked about this on the pod last week, that I felt as if it's fool's gold, them performing well at Marvel, because when they get out of Marvel, I don't...
Yeah.
We've seen it with Marvel tenanted teams over the years.
Yeah.
They look $1 million at Marvel, and then you get them out into the open air stadiums, in the MCG.
And
same bloody seat.
No, I think we wasn't on the pod, but we did discuss this, and I remember saying to you, but they play in Tassie, and they...
Yeah.
But I think their record in Tassie isn't great. Not was there? No. So so you're probably right. So give us your 3-2-1 then.
So I've gone 3 ranked, 10 clearances, 30 odd disposals, a goal, and I think as well another 700 meters game. But what really impressed me was his defensive efforts. He has gone up a gear in his defensive chases. There was 4 to 5 chases I can remember where he's chased over 100 meters to put pressure on players and closed in and actually impacted in turning the ball over. And one of them happened really late in the game. So that can't be ignored. When you've got him doing those defensive plays, that's what you need from bona fide star midfielders. So he's getting the ball, but he's also defending. So that's why I gave him the 3.
Yep.
Dawson Stiff, he could have got 3. He got the 10 coaches' votes, and I completely understand why. But of course, this is my voting. I don't give it stuff what the coaches think. And I just feel like Dawson, where he was playing, a little bit more replaceable. But that goal he kicked from the wing that started on half back, that's what I want to see more of from Dawson. Give, go, receive. It's what Dacos does.
Yeah.
No excuse why you can't, eh? So good on you. And number 1 could have gone for a number of players. I did see McAndrew getting coaches' votes for his 9 disposals and 2 goals on Jerry. I mean, he did a good job of Jerry. But Keys could have also got votes. He had 11 scoring involvements and about 19 odd disposals. Linked up very, very good. But I went with Saligo, who had the same amount of scoring involvements, but his 2 goals and just his foot skills just stand out. And because he played permanent forward, he spent no time in the midfield. His connection between midfield and forward, oh my God, some of the delivery to Fogarty, but even Murray, absolute elite. He's been at 93%.
Yeah.
That is more of that, please. More of that, please. So, but anyway, I'll give an extra half of a vote for the entire team.
You can't give up.
I'm not kidding.
We don't do up.
This
is an uncaged, you know.
No, hang on a second.
Come on, mate.
I'm flying the flag. All played well.
I could have done that against Geelong if I wanted to. Let's not get carried away.
Hang on, this is my vote.
He played
this
is, Let's not get carried
away. Again, they played Richmond the week before and looked like a bottom 10 team. This week they looked all right.
Right. Yeah.
Let me have my moment.
Half a point to the entire team.
And let's fly that all flag, okay?
Yeah, all played well.
All right.
All played.
Your turn. What did Port do this week?
Well, as you well know, we were busy Friday night, so I didn't actually get to see the game, but I did get to see a lot of comments, and there weren't a lot of people too happy with the performance.
Did you go back and watch it though?
No, it didn't.
So the comments scared you that?
The comments scared me that much that I just thought.
Because when I look at the margin, and there was not much of a big gap between them in the scoreboard.
You're right. And this brings me to my point now. So it's again, from people I've spoken to, my cousins, mates, listened to stuff online, everybody was kicking for goal hurt us again. Georgiades 1-3, Whitfield just 2 points. Like they had Berry 2 points. So all these guys who are key forwards.
Yeah.
I mean, even Joey Richards, who I gave votes to, kicked 3-2. In a game where you lose by, what was it, 4 goals?
Yeah.
You can't have your major. Like, if you just see Georgiades could have kicked a couple more, and then Whitlock kicks a couple, and someone else straightens up. And so again, it's just these poor kicking for goals. And again, I spoke to those who watched the game, and they all said to me they weren't difficult shots. It wasn't like they were trying to ping them from 70 out or anything, or they were hard up on the boundary and they had cameramen, in their back pockets.
Yeah.
So it's been the story of most of our losses. In fact, all of our losses except for the North Melbourne.
Yeah, and it was interesting
absolutely
because
been the story.
I listened to Clarko, and this is just rolling back for a minute, but this is just how coaches look at things in terms of missed shots.
Yeah.
So he lamented the fact that the first 14 minutes they kicked 2-4.
Yeah.
Now, that's only 4 misses. You're talking about multitude of misses here.
Yeah.
But he said that, if you reverse that and went 4-2, it forces the opposition to change.
Scoreboard pressure.
So you're talking about a lot more misses here.
That's right. And this is what we're talking about. We're talking one about scoreboard pressure, because if you don't miss them, it becomes a lot closer game.
Yeah.
There was also another thing. Someone else brought a point up to me. We had all the momentum, we were coming hard, and then there was 2 stand rule 50-meter penalties given away, which basically killed the momentum. So, and this is someone who advocates constantly to get rid of the stand rule because I reckon it's a crap ball. So, look, it is what it is. They're not going to fix their problems until they can start fixing some of this kicking for goal.
Yeah.
Especially Georgiades. Like, this guy should be leading the goalman. I mean, his last 4 weeks now, he's kicked, I think it's 13, 19. So if you can imagine if that was the other way around, there's 6 more goals. We would have won the Hawthorn game. We would have won the Showdown. We would have won the Bulldogs game.
And everyone's talking about George Jones as the best forward.
That's right. And he's in the All-Australian. When they do that rolling All-Australian side, he's in that rolling All-Australian side because he's the number one contested mark-up forward.
Yeah.
So it's not the only problem this bloke has is he's kicking for goal. And it's costing us games. And it's now another one that you can tick off to say that it's not helping in situations like this. But from what I understand, for 3 quarters, Gold Coast were the better team, by far the better team. So,
and it is such a difficult game to go up there and play. They play those conditions super well.
Yeah. No.
You know, you think of the Gold Coast and the conditions that they have on the Gold Coast, it's much the same.
Yeah, well, I heard it was 33 and something like 98% humidity.
And you're pretty unlucky drawing in the second week after they've had that acclimatization.
Yeah.
Because what is it? Someone was saying that in a game, they're losing 2 kilos or something of weight.
Yeah, that's right.
Water weight.
Yeah.
That's a remarkable match.
And that's the other thing that does it. This is a game you play before you buy. You know, this is not a game you play in round 10, and then you've still got to play 2 more or 3 more before you even have your buy.
Well, they gave you Carlton this week, so it's especially like the buy.
Thanks. After they sack their coach.
Yeah. Well, hang on. They made that lolly sugar high.
Yeah. Well, we're going to find out if they can straighten up and kick some goals then. Because, you know, I mean, even the Geelong game, which we should have won easily. 15. I think we had 15 more scoring shots, 12 more scoring shots. They should have won that game so much. And yet Georgiades kicks 4-6, you know. So just things like that just need to change. And the other thing that was, when I looked at it, the same amount of scoring shots. So the only difference was Gold Coast was straighter. That's all.
So it sounds like there's more upside in that than doom and gloom.
Well, so if you can't fix your kicking, mate, nothing changes. It just does not change. You've got to fix it.
It is correctable.
Yeah, well, then let's correct it then. If it's correctable, let's correct it.
Because you're talking about 50-meter infringements that come down. Poor goal kicking. Both completely fixable. I'd rather be having those problems than not having.
Let's fix it. So some of these games, we're not losing by a point or 2 points because we don't have to worry about it. We're that far in front that it wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
You know, so... But my votes, 3 to Butters, he had 36 and 16 clearances. He was just a warrior from what I'm led to believe. Had a great game. Joey Richards, although I did bag him for kicking 3-2. I mean, he still kicked 3-2. Generally, he's one of those who sprays them all over the place. So he had a decent game. And my whipping boy, Darcy Burn-Jones, 27 disposals. He went at 74. He turned the ball over a few times, but... yeah, it was sort of that last point that there was 2 or 3 I could have chucked in there. You know, but at the end of the day, Darcy gets the point because like I say, he's my whipping boy, and yeah, he deserves a 1.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as the leaderboard goes, for me, Butters is way out in front of 17, in front of Horn Francis on 12. And for the Crows, Miller is on 12 and Worrell's on 8, and it's Rochelle on 8 and Rankin on 7. So, and what do you give Dawson to? So Dawson's on 4, so he could be coming. He has a few more.
Well, he's starting
box.
He is starting to find some form after being out for a couple of weeks.
But, you know.
Was there anything else? It was a pretty good weekend of football, I thought, right across the board.
Yeah, I thought
there was a good mixture of, you had a couple of thrashings, you had a couple of close ones, and a couple of upsets. And that, to me, is a weekend of football.
Yeah. My question to you is, what did you see did you see the Brisbane Geelong game, and what did you see out of that makes you think? Because we anointed Sydney and Brisbane as the grand finalists the week before.
It was the fobbing off Brisbane.
That's it. Only to have Brisbane turn up and play like that. Now, I'm not worried about Brisbane. Right? I think they'll be fine. But was there something that Geelong did? Or do you think that they just rocked up ready to play and Brisbane were just that little bit off?
Brisbane are off. You can see that the hunger, throw back to the Crows game. They came at the Crows with mountains of pressure.
They had a poor loss to it.
Yeah. But why is it taking that now? So that's the worry for Brisbane, is the fact that they need those emotional whiplash games to get them up and about. And that, to me, I mean, it's been well spoken about. Is you lose hunger, you lose desire.
Yeah.
And some of those young players, you think about it as well. Like everyone just assumes that the Ashcroft boys are going to go and dominate the competition.
Yeah.
But at some stage, I mean, they've won 3 premierships in 4 years, so they're feeling pretty good about themselves, aren't they? The game gives you a good kick up the arse
every now and then. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm sort of. I was shocked at how easily Geelong scored. Yeah. Because we both spoke about it. We both said that Brisbane's midfield should dominate Geelong's, but they killed it. Like, they just killed it. Like, it was, and you're right, they just looked like they were just.
The teams that are power running teams look the most impressive.
Yeah.
And some of the passages, again, it's been well documented right across the football programs across the weekend, is there was one play in particular that O'Shane Mullen ran from his back 75 all the way through and kicked the goal in the goal square.
Yeah, I saw.
And you have Lachie Neale just trailing him.
Yeah, just trailing him. Yeah.
If we're thinking about recruiting Lachie Neale, Crows better be careful with that, because that looked like a player that just...
I don't know. Yeah, maybe he's 33, 32, 33.
But it was just a lack of care. Maybe he has checked out.
Yeah, and maybe you're right. Maybe going back to back at the moment, and they're looking at a 3P, and they're pretty much being told you're a certainty to be in the game, in the big one.
Yeah,
has just demotivated them at the moment, and they do need that kick in the ass with a game like that to get them motivated.
And then you've got Sydney as well. That, from all reports, I mean, they should be something.
Yeah,
Collingwood not a good team at the moment.
Well, it's surprising because they run Hawthorn to a draw the week before, and nobody thought that was going to happen. I mean, they almost get over the line against Sydney, and they're missing players all over. Like, they're missing key players, not just.
Yeah, they are. So
they've actually impressed me, Collingwood. They're a lot better, and their structures are really good.
Yeah,
like, they've got a good game plan. That's a team that it's. Doesn't matter who's out, they can bring someone in and they still perform at a high level.
So do you think that Craig McRae could lead South Australia to win over Victoria?
Oh, we don't have to worry about that because we've been playing with
I know. So we'll get a good look in.
Yeah. So look, it's interesting because I would have thought Collingwood, just would have fallen into a hump, and they haven't. So I want to move on to the fake toughs because they're both footy related.
Yeah.
The ones I've got down. So, speaking of State of Origin, is the SANFL state team fake tough? Because they talk about being the second best league to the AFL, and yet that's 3.
So
3 State of Origins have lost.
Someone sent me a message, and they complained a little bit about the fact that there was the team virtually was made up of Norwood and Stir players.
Yeah,
virtually.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you who I think is fake tough from that is the selectors. Is Rowie still a selector?
I don't know who's selecting him, but I looked at that side and I thought, what's going on here?
Now, the person that sent me it was a Glenelg supporter. Known for winning. So
yeah,
a little bit of bias in that, but for me, Sturt have been the number 1 team for the SANFL, so I understand why they're loading up, but looking at that team and because I watched a little bit of it.
Yeah.
And it was early on the match and I thought, no, this isn't getting any better. Was how slow and bloodless.
That's what I thought. I thought we look slow. Like, where's our speed? There's no speed.
Now, from what I watched, because I did watch the Victorian game earlier this year versus South Australia, the signs there where they were slow. So they didn't do anything to correct that. But they've selected a side that likes to win bowl, but haven't really selected a team to win, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's on the selectors. So fake tough, yes, because you can't go around calling yourself the second best competition in Australia and dish up back-to-back losses. But also, then you got handled, absolutely handled. So fake tough.
I agree. My second fake tough is Sam Mitchell saying Jack Gunston's 300 is just as important as Pendle's record-breaking game. What is it? 435? Whatever the record is. Sorry, we should probably know this because it's a major record, isn't it?
Yeah.
4:33 or 4:35, one of those.
Uh,
So I think that's some bloke using his media or his position at a club and his media time to pump up the tires of one of his players because he doesn't want him left out of the limelight. And all the conversations around Pendles and him breaking the record, so he's stepped up, and I just think that's crap, mate. You don't crap on someone else's parade the way he did.
Sam Mitchell is a salty bitch. There's no doubt about it. No, it is. Some of the stuff he says in his post matches, he's just so bitter.
He comes from the Clarko school of salty bitches. So.
Hang on, Clarko actually paid the Crows compliment this weekend. I can't ever imagine Sam Mitchell doing that. Come on, you got to agree with that.
I agree with you. I think sometimes he's a bit of a sniper, old Sam.
Yeah,
and sometimes he takes pot shots. Now, whether they're tongue in cheek or not, I don't know. But that just seemed, when I heard the comment, it just seemed really odd that he'd be comparing a 300 to a record breaking that will probably never see broken. And that's the other thing. I mean, I don't know. And there could be a player in 5 or 6 or 10 or 15 years who comes down the track who might get there. Might not be in my lifetime. But yeah, I just don't know. Pendles may set the record, and he's not over yet. They're still talking about him playing on next year. So this bloke could get well over 450. That's the case. I'm definitely sure that no one's breaking that. So, you know, to compare it to a 300, that 300 is a great achievement, by the way. I'm not diminishing a 300, but that's nowhere near a record-breaking 400 game. So, and yours was?
Cosgrove. Now, I can't even be bothered to look up what his first name was from Auckland because you're a little shit. But he's that Auckland FC player that won man of the match against Adelaide United on the weekend. So when you come out and you say that, we've heard that Coopers is the toughest stadium to play at in the competition. We thought it was easy. You know, you had the absolute run across every fixture that Adelaide have played Auckland this season with the referees. I can count numerous games this season where should have had players sent off. Now, in the first 5 to 10 minutes, they should have had 4 to 6 bookings.
Yeah, they should have.
There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
And I've seen people come out and say that Goodwin was salty in his post-match on-field interview, saying that pretty much what I've just said, that they should have had 4 to 6. And that does change the complexion of the game. They were allowed to continue to be rough. They were allowed to continue to just do whatever they want. But this little shit got a penalty from just diving in the box.
Well, I don't even know how he got that penalty.
He celebrated like he won the World Cup. I mean, come on. I'd be absolutely embarrassed.
I don't know how the umpire gives that, the ref gives that penalty. There's nothing in it. And yeah, I just didn't get it. I did not, except for one reason. And we both know what that reason is.
Yeah.
But we're not going to say it out loud because we sound salty. But
yeah,
I totally agree. Everything we saw from that game, everything we heard from that game was that they were absolutely given the rub of the green. And
we also believe in football karma. Doesn't matter what shape of the ball, oval, round, it's going to come back and bite you. So don't be surprised if Cosgrove does an ACL and Auckland lose. So fake tough.
Wow, absolute fake tough. You
win
it, mate.
You can nominate me fake tough for potting him this hard.
Yeah, no, you win the fake tough for this week.
Yeah,
they're giving it to Cosgrove. Well, I was going to say, what did you think of the Adelaide United game? But I think you covered it off. I think we were both shocked at the result.
Yeah.
Well,
again, we were busy at the time, preoccupied with some spandex and some baby oil.
Yeah.
But looking at the stats, and we're looking at the shots on goal and possession, Auckland dominated both. And that kind of surprised me because that's not what we saw in the first leg. It was all Adelaide United taking the play. They came physical. And so...
I know allowed to play physical.
Yeah. Did that make Adelaide more passive?
I don't know if it made him more passive, but it certainly shocked. I think it took them off guard and they never recovered from that. Yeah. I think they were expected that the game would be wrecked the way it should have been. And if they came hard and they were taking people out, then they should have been carded. And when it didn't happen, I think there was this bit of what's going on here? And then you see the penalty and you think, well, hang on, what is going on here? This looks very sus. And then the rest is history, but they crumbled.
Yeah.
Because you're right, the first leg, and this is what we're talking about. Should we have 2 legs? Why are we having 2 legs? Other than the fact that it gives you an extra final each. But why do Auckland deserve, after coming out of a knockout final, to go and have a home final?
Look, the fact is,
instead of for the money.
They should have.
They should have won. And I agree with you. They should have won. You're spot on.
It was set up.
But it's the thing that gets me the most is that the 2 teams who had the week off are the 2 teams who lost.
Yeah.
The 2 teams who played the week before came back.
But I did say
like
Jets were waning. I did worry that the Jets were waning. I didn't like what I saw in the back end of the regular season.
Yeah. But we were waiting too. Like we sat top for the majority of the season, and then lost it within the last 5 games, half dozen games.
I suppose they can take some solace in the fact that they had a better year than Liverpool. The Premier Reds are just.
And what we're talking about international. Did you see Celtic when the league with something like in the 86th minute of
and what do you call it? What was funny was with a minute of stoppage time, the fans just turned on the bench and said, "Like this, let's get them off," and it stopped the game.
Yeah,
lucky that they were up by a 2-goal margin. Because what would have happened if let's say it was a 1-goal margin and that happened and they shut the game down with a minute to go? Because look, a minute is a long enough time to score.
Score 1, if you score 2, but you're right. That had 2-goal lead, but that was just. How would you feel leading the league all year, like not being behind at all until the last 5 minutes or 6 minutes of a game?
It was trending that way for the way the Scottish League works is it goes 30 odd games or 28 games, and then they break it up where the top part of the table plays the top teams, and then the bottoms play off against each other. And from the moment that split, Rangers was also up there and within striking distance. They shit the bed like Rangers always do.
Yeah.
And Celtic just won every single one of their games. And I'm sure Hearts felt the pressure of them coming.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
And so when Celtic took care of Rangers last weekend, it almost felt like a fait accompli that Celtic are going to be Hearts.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the story was behind Hearts resting the Scottish Premier League player. He started on the bench. Didn't they?
I think they thought he would
go too defensive and then try to
they just shut down. They look like they try to shut it down. Let's just get a draw out of this. We win the league if we can get the draw. Or it was to have his explosiveness after bring him on in the second half, and then he just explodes and he just runs. Whether it was one of those reasons, I don't know, but they blew it. They blew it.
Yeah.
All over. So, yeah.
But they could have had a better. This is the SPL. Couldn't have had a better finish for them because it's a league that's usually played between 2 teams.
That's right.
To have a 13 lead right up until
the end. Yeah.
And then the good guys win.
Yeah. Spot on. The good guys.
Yeah.
So who you got for the A-League final?
Look, I can't back Auckland, so I'm going to go Sydney, but Auckland will probably win. Now Sydney.
I think the league would prefer Sydney to win it than Auckland, and I think there's a good chance that it might be refereed so that Sydney win it, and so I'll take Sydney. Thank you very much. NBL finals, what do you think?
NBA
finals. What do you think? We now have a conference final between New York and Cleveland, which both teams are decent, but
they're not on the
they're not the Pistons and the Celtics, are they?
No.
And
when you look at the other side of the draw, Spurs and Oklahoma City, you think that whoever's winning that Eastern Conference is playing for runners up.
Well, I think Oklahoma City, they've been the best team all year. I don't think anybody touches Oklahoma City.
Spurs though have a few weapons like when Biana, that on their day can win the game, and that's what they're leaning on.
I think Spurs Oklahoma City goes 6. I reckon New York wipes the floor with Cleveland in 5.
Look, I wouldn't mind New York making the finals just because when you have New York up and about Madison Square Garden, it just adds something a little bit.
Yeah, of
They're
course.
always the bridesmaid. Let's face it, they're always the bridesmaid.
And they were talking. I don't know if this is true or not. I was listening to Gazy and Andy and Gazy today on SEN, and they were saying that $200,000 for courtside tickets for the Knicks game.
Yeah,
$200,000.
even regular courtside seats, just to a regular season game, they're
about $6-7 grand.
Yeah,
that's a big jump.
I know it's a big jump, but again,
to 200 grand.
New York's a huge city with some deep pockets there. So
definitely, but
that's all.
I'd tell you, you and I aren't paying 200 grand at courtside to watch the Knicks lose.
No, I'd have to say my shots.
Yeah. And that's just these conference finals. Imagine if they make the actual NBA finals, what those tickets would be going. So who do you have coming out of the East and who do you have coming out?
Look, I want New York, so I'm going to go New York.
Right. I'm the same. I think New York.
And, I'm going to go for Spurs.
You're going to take Spurs? I'm taking OKC. Okay. I think OKC wins it all. You? Yeah. You think the winner out of Spurs or OKC is the team?
You know what?
And plus, there's nothing better than watching New Yorkers cry after they lose a major final series.
I want to, having said that, I want New York to win now. But do they have enough quality to beat? No. So it would probably be Spurs.
Yeah. So you reckon if Spurs come out of
Wembanyama,
and you reckon MVP? Yeah, Wembanyama?
Yeah, it has to be.
Right.
That guy's a freak on both ends of the floor.
Except he's not the Greek freak, right?
Not quite. He's better. He's the French freak. So we've done fake tough.
Yep. So
Hyper Horseshoe?
Yep. Hyper Horseshoe.
Oh, Clarko.
Clarko. This is yours.
This is my nomination. So for a coaching genius, now everyone in the AFL landscape have said that he's a coaching genius for what he did at Hawthorn.
Yeah.
I've always been of the opinion he's never been a good coach. I think he was handed an absolute gold-plated team that was put together by Gary Bacanara, so he should get the audits for that. On the weekend, he has an opportunity to win the game, and by win the game, I mean man up the midfield. Now they could have won that game if they don't let that second quarter play out. As ridiculous as it sounds, the Crows only won that game. You take that quarter out alone by about 10 points. So they're in it. Yeah. Allowing the Crows to go on a 10-goal, well, it was more than that because they kicked the last 3 of the first quarter. So I think it was about 13-goal spree, but 10 in the second. And you're allowing the Crows to play an extra at the ball. And you're using, I think it was Luke McDonald down back as a spare. That's not going to cut the mustard. And you've allowed the Crows to take the game away from you. And you haven't at no stage looked to break that momentum up. You're the master coach. Why have you not pulled that forth?
So let me ask you a question. Is Clarko coaching to win games or is he coaching to teach the team how to play?
Well, that doesn't teach the team how to play. How's that teaching the team how to play?
That's my question, though. Is there instructions that they're not following? So is he saying this is how we want to play and they're not following?
That just seemed to be like a coaching move. Because why then did he pull the lever after halftime and the numbers were evened up around the ball?
Yeah. Because, mate, you're spot on. Because obviously whatever they were trying to do didn't work.
Now,
and you've got to do that. Yeah. You can't allow a 10-goal quarter.
Anyone who's worked in management of any kind knows that your impact as a leader happens when you're not around.
Yeah.
So as far as Clarko, because everyone will go, it's a young side. That side was more experienced than the Crows on the weekend. That side had more 100 gamers playing for them than the Crows.
Yeah.
You've got Luke Parker, you've got Jack Darling all out on the ground. You've got Larky's played well over 100 games. Zerha, there's a lot of experience in that team. Surely someone grabs that team by the balls and goes, right, come on, boys. Let's pull that.
That's right. So
pull that lever on the field. Why wait for the coach to tell you?
There's no on-field leadership, and it sounded like there was no off-field leadership either. So.
And it come up in my newsfeed. I don't know why, but North Melbourne supporters and they're whinging about Nick Larkey as a captain. saying that he's not a leader in this and that. And maybe they're right.
Yeah.
Maybe they are all right.
Yeah, you could be right.
But yeah, Clarko should have sent that runner out there and pulled that lead. And like I said, if the team hasn't listened to that, then that's a reflection of his coaching, that he hasn't set that team up to listen to his instructions.
Yeah, fair enough.
He's been there how many years now?
So is that, what are you saying? You're saying
he's
Costaco's horseshit.
Yeah, that claim of him being the master coach is horseshit.
I think his Hawthorn years is hype. I think his North Melbourne years are horseshit. Because he's not the only, let's not forget, he's not the only coach to have swapped to a team to, I don't know, I guess go through a rebuild, because we think of Parkin, we think of Malthouse. We're now seeing Clarko try to do it. They've all failed. They all fired him their second jobs in rebuilding. Carlton, obviously, Malthouse and Parkin were.
So it's a game gone past them, is that what you're saying?
So, well, I think sometimes you bottle that, what you had, and it's really hard to get that back.
Yeah.
Now, who knows what's going to happen with Hardwick?
Yeah.
We don't know whether or not he'll get something at Gold Coast or not. At the moment, he's been there, this will be his third year.
Yeah.
They missed the first year. They made it last year. They're looking all right this year, but who knows what's going to happen. This is Gold Coast we're talking about, so anything could happen between now and round 24. But they're looking good. So that's a hold for me. But I think the Clarko years at North is definitely a fun.
Yeah.
Definitely. Whereas you're right about Buckenham and the Hawthorn list, but he took that list. When he took over in 05, they were terrible in 05 and 06, and then in 08, they probably had no business winning that grand final, by the way. Geelong were by far the best.
Yeah, they were, and I think they were.
As we know, it's the Kennett curse. So, but then they go all the way to 13. So they, from 08 until 13, they're there about, and then they go in and win it in 13, 14, and 15. So, yeah, I see what you mean. I don't think anybody expected him to take North, and this was not going to be a quick thing. This was going to be a slow burn, but I think everybody's becoming patient with that. Hype or shit for me, I've got two. Now, the AFLW in round 24 is going to have GWS play West Coast as the main game. So the men will play first. It's a doubleheader. The men will play first. And then the AFLW will be the main draw for that game. So how do you think that's going to, how do you see that? Do you think that that's a good thing? Do you think fans are going to hang around?
No,
it's a GWS West Coast game anyway, so you might not get any more than what, I don't know, when you get to a crowd. What a Gold Coast, GWS pulling through to a game these days. If they're out of it, and they're playing West Coast, by the way, so then
it's going to be well under sub-10s.
So who knows what that crowd's going to be.
Central crowd size.
And then, is it I'm not sure that that's the game you wanted to do it for. Because one, it's going to be a small crowd anyway, purely because it's GWS and they don't draw, and it's West Coast. So does that diminish? Because if we look at the crowd and it starts off as, say, a 12 and then drops to a 4, do we look at that and go, this is a failure? I mean, I just think they're setting themselves up here by doing that in that particular game. I think they're setting themselves up to fail. And it's not necessarily going to be because of the women's game. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's I don't know. This is not, this is poor by the AFL. This is just going to expose the women's game big time. Because I don't know about you, but after I've watched a game of AFL football, that's it. I've had enough.
Yep.
I don't watch back to back to back to back. Even if it's 2 men's games, I struggle to watch.
Well, tell me how many women's games have you sat down and watched?
God, not for a couple of years, not since the crisis. In the last couple of years, probably none.
So there you go.
That's honest truth.
So you're not watching it. I'm not watching it. I don't think anybody in Victoria and who knows what the telecast is going to be anyhow. So it may not even be on air. It may not even be on Channel 7. It could be only be on Foxtel.
So when we say horseshit, who are we saying horseshit too? Because we're both
the AFL.
Yeah.
I think it's the AFL. I think the AFL have done the GWS West Coast AFLW sides a disservice by putting it in this time slot at that venue, because that's not going to be a crowd as it is.
Yeah.
If that was say there was Adelaide and Port Adelaide, so say they decided to play the showdown in round 24, and they thought, okay, we're going to play the men's game showdown first,
and then
we're going to have the women's showdown afterwards. Now you would have got a 50 crowd, right?
Yeah,
Like 40 to 50.
It shrinks down to about 10, doesn't it? If they're lucky.
The last time I went to the showdown in Norwood, there was about 14 and a half there.
Yeah.
Right? Now, if you're pulling in let's just say 50, make it an even 50. I reckon if you've got, and especially if it's a good game, the men's game's a good game, I think you might even have 40 to 35 to 40 hanging around to see what the women's game looks like.
You're generous.
No, I think you do.
I think
you do.
Particularly if my team's lost that, I'm freaking off home.
Yeah.
I'm going to go have a look at home.
And it depends on whose home game it is too. Yeah. So, well, let's just say it's Ports, because that's going to be the next showdown anyway. So it'll be our home game. Yeah. So I think do
you know what this is going to do? This is just going to go, well, compare it to the men's game again, and no one gives a shit.
Yeah, look, I think that,
particularly if there is a significant drop off.
Yeah. So I think the AFL, I'm saying AFL is horse shit.
Yeah.
They've tried to get the hype, but they've absolutely screwed this one up. Now there are other, so I believe it's round 22, 23 and 24, or there's double headers set for all 3 rounds, but they're all before the men's game. So in round 22 and round 23, it's before the men's game, and then in round 24, they've flipped it. So, all right, so we're in agreement, the AFL's horseshoe.
Yep.
Okay. That's not the first time either.
Yeah.
What about Pendles? They're talking about Pendles making possibly over $500,000 from jersey sales from his milestone game with the Golden 12. That's just from jerseys.
Yeah.
Now, before we went on here, you said you find that hard to believe, and I told you the story of Luke Hodge saying sold one of his major milestone jerseys for 55. Now, that's not going to be a record-breaking in-game worn.
No, but I mean, did you hear that story that Kane Corns, I'm sure you have, because you watched that football furnace thing, that someone's called? I don't know. One of the football shows, and he was talking about, did he ever chase a Guernsey? And he apparently chased Ben Cousins. And Ben Cousins wore six jerseys that game, and wouldn't spare one for Kane.
Yeah.
Said he was selling them.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah. I wonder how many he'll actually
12
throw on.
So
he's going to put 12 on.
All 12. Wow. He's going to have 12 on.
So how's he going to do that? Every time he is on the internet,
basically, he wants to change, he puts a new one on. Yeah.
God, that would be annoying as hell. Those things are tight.
Yeah.
With your sweat, you constantly.
That's right. So there'll be 3. Apparently, there'll be 3 every quarter, and they'll all be worn, and then they'll be sold afterwards. Now, Hodgie said that he kept a couple, so he said he could see Pendle's keeping a couple for his private,
of course,
own private collection,
of course,
and then possibly having 8 to 10 to sell. Now, if Hodgie's getting 55 for, I can't remember what Guernsey it was or what milestone it was, Pendle's for,
and
let's face it,
Collingwood's supporter base is a lot bigger,
massive.
So there's be someone out there with a bit of money.
If he's selling 8 of them, he's easily, I reckon, getting 60 to 80 grand, and they're being auctioned too. This isn't just a fixed price; they're actually being auctioned.
The more you talk about it, the more it makes sense. You know, I can't see him getting less than what I've got.
And then he's going to be, and the other thing is he's going to be doing boots. So he's going to be changing these boots every time he comes off as well. So there's probably going to be 12 pairs of boots. And apparently he's got his own wine now, and he's selling that off, and it's going to have a special label for the.
So then, could he make more than 500?
Oh, easily. He could easily. This was just from the Guernseys.
Yeah.
They were talking about 1.2 mil with all the merch that he sells for the game, everything included.
Wow.
So that's the wine. That's going to be the shoes. That's going to be his Guernseys. There's probably going to be other stuff. But they'll be framed. You know, they do the big framed.
So, are you actually going to watch it? It's at a nagging time slot. It's at Twilight Saturday.
Twilight Saturday of, it's not this week, it's the following, isn't it?
I thought it was this weekend.
No, is it this weekend?
Yeah,
this weekend. This weekend. Okay.
Playing West Coast. Huh?
West Coast, yeah. Well, I probably will. I mean,
probably at work, so I won't be.
Yeah.
But if I was off, I probably wouldn't be. So, yeah. 4 o'clock Adelaide time, so 3:30 Eastern at the MCG.
Now there.
Collingwood, West Coast. Yeah.
So, yeah. And so, hike? Or we're going hike there?
Yeah. That's conservative, so that's definitely high. If you're talking 1.2, potentially with the wine included, yeah.
And now for the segment everybody's been waiting for.
Oh, yes. Requested by a record-breaking 3 people.
3 people.
And you've said for me to do it properly.
And to do it professionally, not conference. Yeah. And for Ross to stop putting you off.
No,
one of the comments.
No. That was me buying an excuse. That was terrible. Because I was underprepared. Overpromised and under-delivered. There you go. I look street again.
So stay tuned for Word Live.
This is my street. Next week, I'll see if I can get the beat.
Oh, yeah.
I'll like the beat on it.
Nice.
So,
all right, here we go.
Please go easy on me. This is my favorite topic in the world. Those who are friends with me on Facebook will absolutely know what I'm talking
Yourself?
about.
Okay.
No, this is not Adelaide.
You did put Adelaide last week.
No, I did Adelaide, and it was a very sloppy job. So I'm coming back to those some stage, and it's going to be a lot more cutting. I might wait until we found honest.
Just get on.
No. Let's talk it in, because you might clip me around the ear for this one.
Let's go.
All right.
You waited.
So here we go. We're going to do this for every club, though.
Go.
Oh, I have to go back to the fucking start. All right, here we go. Teal on your chest, look weak and disgusting, look like Gatorade Fizz with the sewer pipe busted. Yo tradition, but the facts stay hidden. 36 AFL flags from the 2nd Division. You brag in your boast, but the math don't matter. That's like flexing VHS in the Netflix era. Most successful club, man, stop that bluffing. Half them premierships came when the crowds brought muffins. Ken got cooked, whole fan page shook. Ken out every Facebook post you looked. Now car walk in and you change that tune. That's WWE booking from April to June. Every year, we back. Then September hit and the whole squad crack. Prelim time come, whole system collapse. Look like somebody unplugged the controller out the back. And Albert and Ruff, man, that place stay cursed. Looked like Mad Max shot there and said reverse. Shopping carts tipped with the tires all flat. Even stray dogs walk around like, nah, stuff that. Change that. Prison bars, prison guards. Cries the AFL like emotional stars. Whole club identity built on complaining. Then you lose one final and the fan base draining. 3 flags and 5. Had the mob straight frothing. 5 years later, 0. Straight nothing. Promised a dynasty, delivered a drought. Trophy cabinet so dry, it's filing for bankruptcy now.
I can't wait till you guys go out and straight sets again. I really.
Well, I
First AFL team to ever go out from the opposition in straight sets.
Listen.
And you want to give me grief for that. Oh, my God. When you achieve something since 97, 98, come and see me with you, bro.
You can
move on. Let's go.
You can have a writer reply next week.
Let's
I'll give you a week.
Let's get to our bet for the week.
All right. Well, I bet that you're going to stop your crop. So we're going to go with the bottom of the table, the absolute epic clash.
The crumbs.
The crumbs. I don't know who's touted as the first round pick, so we'll call it the first round cut.
Well, yeah. Could very well be.
Richmond and Essendon we're talking about.
Yeah.
2 sides that are just...
Well, who knows? I mean, look, Richmond are just devastated, as we said. So many injuries, but they seem to have heart. Whereas Essendon, I don't know what's going on there. They've got some stars, but they're almost devoid of any emotion.
Yeah, and
passion.
Do you know what's weird? Brad Scott said that they've got a system in place, and the football shows I've watched have picked them apart and go, "What system?
What system?"
Again, I don't see their games. I don't watch enough. You've got to be at the ground to know what the system would look like. Yeah. So it's unfair for me to pot them. But when you've got experts saying that, then like what the hell is Brad Scott actually doing?
This is going to be a very interesting game because I heard today that apparently 2 Meter Peter was out with a medial.
Yeah.
So he's going to be missing 6 days.
And Richmond are down to 24 fit players now.
Yeah, so it's going to be a tough one.
Yeah.
But I've gone Richmond and the M.
Well, I've gone Essendon.
There you go. So
with no confidence, is it?
No, well, neither one. No. This is why it's an interesting bet, this one.
Yeah.
Could literally end up in a draw and we could vote for yours.
But the thing with Richmond this year is when they got a game that they could win, they got for it.
That's right. And you know what? They've by far been more impressive.
They have. And look, beating West Coast and West Coast is, I think, a little bit trickier because I think the Giants found that out on the weekend.
Yeah.
So for them to go out there the week before and
beat them. They're out of the rut.
Yep.
So yeah, there you go. With no confidence at all.
Yeah.
That's the game of the week. Stay tuned. So I'm going to get us out of here with this one. So there were 3 ladies sitting in the park when a man came. I walked over and flashed them. 2 of them had a stroke, but the third one couldn't reach. Thank you, Paul Torber. Good night.